Hello, mommies. We all know that cooking in chemical coated non-stick cookwares are not good for health, especially for babies. Stainless steel and iron are the most recommended cookwares. If you're a first timer with iron cookwares, I'm sure you'll have bundle of queries, and this video will answer all your questions. First, let me show you my collection of iron cookwares. I store them in a rack under my grill oven. First is my most favorite 9-inch large cast iron mini wok. This looks small but it weighs 2 kg. My baker friend Mrs. Revati Prabhakar gifted this to me. You'd have seen this pan in many of my videos like puffed rice, full makhana. This pan is so apt for deep frying like vada, bhaji, puri. Many moms used to ping me in Instagram and ask, why are cast iron pans so smooth and shiny? Do they have any chemical coatings? Cast iron is nothing but pouring molten iron into molds of different shapes and then allowing it to solidify to form smooth finished cast iron pans. And the shiny gloss found on pre-seasoned pans are nothing but a slick layer of oil coating. For seasoning, they bake these pans with a layer of oil in high temperature, and that forms a protective layer giving a non-sticky cooking surface with a shine. Iron is actually grayish in color and this oil seasoning gives it a dark black color. The top parts are still blackish and the bottom parts are grayish as the seasoning has faded there. If it were a chemical coated non-stick pan, we should immediately throw it out on seeing such discolorations as the chemicals might mix with food and enter our body, which might be harmful. But discolorations in cast iron pans are harmless as they are just oil coatings. Don't stress much about these colors and seasonings. Every time you cook, the oil you use to cook adds additional layer of seasoning to the pan. When you use soap and hot brushes, the seasoning goes away much sooner. Later in this video, I'll show you how to wash these pans without soap. Next is 10¼ inch large cast iron skillet. This weighs 2.5 kgs. You would have already seen this pan in my whole grilled chicken video. Yes, these cast iron pans can be used in gas stove, induction stove, coil stove, grill oven and in the external grills. You can almost use it in all sorts of cooking except in microwave oven. There are mixed opinions about cooking acidic foods like lemon, tamarind and tomato in iron pans. The acid present in these foods reacts with the iron and causes the metal to leach into the food being cooked. Some researchers say that the iron leached into the food increases the iron content of the food, but too much iron is not good as well. It might change the color and taste of the food. A research conducted with large cast iron pan simmering tomato sauce for 30 minutes revealed that the acid in the tomato tears the seasoning of the pan and changes the taste of the sauce in 30 minutes. Forget about the acidic foods. Any food cooked in iron pan should be transferred immediately after cooking to another bowl to avoid color and taste variations. If you ask me about my take on this, I do not cook tamarind based dishes in my iron pans as they greatly impact the taste and color of the dish. I also try to avoid tomato based dishes in my iron pan, but I don't mind adding half or one tomato to my stir fries like chicken masala or bindi masala. In a short note, I do use tomatoes in my iron pans, but I try to finish cooking such dishes within 20 minutes. Adding a little tomato is actually a tip or a trick to absorb a little extra iron, but finishing it off before 30 minutes is to ensure no compromises in the taste and color of the dish. Do switch to iron cookwares to meet the daily requirements of iron intake of our family. Next is my 8-inch large cast iron skillet. This cute little pan was presented to me by my friend Mrs. Aishwarya Shivakumar. This weighs 1.5 kg. I make small batches of stir fries in this, especially potato, sweet potato and dry fish fries. I have regularly used this skillet for 4 years, but still it appears black and shiny just as new and the seasoning is intact just because I haven't used any soaps in washing this. So how do I wash these pans without soap? I'll definitely share that tip later in this video, but before that, let us look into my oppam pan. This small pan weighs 2 kg. I got this from Coimbatore Kamala stores in India. This is also a cast iron pan, but they have seasoned only the inner surface, and that's why it's black and shiny, while the outer surface, the handles and the rim are still grayish. Usually, all oppam pans will have a curvy base and they do not fit my coil stove. But in this pan, they have given an explicit flat base to suit coil and induction stoves. This can also be used in gas stove. Due to the weight, it takes more than 10 minutes to heat up, but once heated, it gives a non-sticky surface to make perfect oppams. Oppam is nothing but a coconut-based spongy Indian pancakes that can be paired with sweet or spicy sides. Next is my iron appe pan or paniyaram pan. The one below this is an aluminium pan. This pan is still good. I mainly got this pan because it has a full flat bottom that perfectly fits my coil stove. But as you could see, it takes more stains and cleaning is a bit tougher. So I was constantly hunting for a good flat bottomed iron pan and finally got this with 2 extra cavities. Yes, it has 9 molds in all. My mother-in-law got this from a shop named Ravi Metal Mart located at Sai Baba Colony in Coimbatore, India. She recently got this and couriered to me this year. I love the flat bottom of this pan. The usual appe pans will have the molds extended in the bottom as well, and cleaning such pans is much challenging, and also the presence of more nooks and corners increases the chances of rusting. Lodge sells appe pans too, but my friend used it and told that the paniyarams made out of it is so dry, and so I didn't want to take a risk. This pan weighs 3 kg. Paniyaram is nothing but an Indian version of Danish pancake Ableskiver. And that's it. These are my pan collections. Now let's look into my roti and dosa tawas. This dosa tawa is also from Lodge. It weighs 2 kg. It is 10.5-inch Lodge cast iron griddle. This handle also gets heated up. I often touch this handle and get heat shocks. To avoid that, I have got this silicone handle cover. This cover can also be used for my 10.25-inch skillet. I got this as a pair and I always leave one in the dosa tawa. I'll give you the Amazon links for this handle, this dosa tawa, and all the large cast iron pans that I have shown you today. You can check for all these links in the description box below. Please note that this is not a paid promotion. I'm just sharing you this info because I have personally used these products for several years and I love the quality of these products from my personal experience. I have used this large griddle both for dosa and chapati or roti. And these 2 pans are from India. Recently, my friend moved out of America to settle back in India, and while returning, she gave me these 2 pans. And now I'm using one for chapati and one extra pan for dosa. When everyone wants dosa at the same time, 2 tawas will make the life easier. After making dosa, I won't wash the tawa. I'll keep it as it is, as the oil we use to make dosa will remain in the pan, and this will act as a protective layer to protect the tawa from rusting. Else the iron might catch the moisture in the air and start to rust. But before making dosa, I'll just wash with plain water and heat it to dry, and once hot, I'll pour some oil and massage well with onion to make a slick surface for dosas. After making egg dosa or egg omelette, I'll wash the tawa with a special powder which we'll look into it very shortly. Once done, I'll keep all my tawas next to my stove. This steel wire rack is meant for plates, but it perfectly fits all my tawas. I got this in Walmart, but you can look for it in storage sections of any stores. It should be available online too. And that's it. You have seen all my iron cookwares. Now let's see how to wash and maintain it without any rust formations. I'm making yummy tinned sardines fish fry in my small cast iron skillet. As I already said, whatever you cook in iron pan, once cooked, immediately transfer it to another bowl. I have transferred my fish fry. This pan's seasoning is still intact and that's why no food has stuck in the bottom. Now let's see how to wash this pan without using soap. You could see some fine food particles in the pan, but these particles are not stuck to the pan. As you could see, they move easily. First, let's wash the pan. As you wash, rub it well with your fingers. It looks clean now, but it is still oily and smells fishy. A simple water wash is not enough. Instead of soap, use chickpea flour or besan flour, rice flour or even corn flour. Iron utensils have minute pores When we use soap to wash it, the chemicals in it might stuck in those pores. And then, while cooking food in those utensils, these chemicals might get mixed with the food. But when you use starchy flours to wash, it will bring out the dirt or food stuck in those pores. You can use any type of starchy flour. The one I am using is corn flour. Add a spoonful of dry flour and rub it well using your fingers. Don't use any scrubber as it will tear off the oil seasoning. I use corn flour just because I get them in big packs, but we just use very little of it in deep fried batters. So I use the rest in washing my iron utensils. Instead of flours, you can also use idli batter as I have already shown in washing silver utensils video. After rubbing well with dry flour, sprinkle little water and make a paste. Use this paste to rub in all places, both inside and outside. Now wash the pan well with water. While washing, use your fingers to rub in all places. The pan looks clean, but dry fish has a strong odor. So I am using some more flour to clean again. When using for the second time, no need to clean with dry flour. Sprinkle little water, make a paste and use the paste to clean the pan. And again wash well with water. And that's it. The pan is completely clean and no fishy odor as well. But a wet iron pan will rust for sure. So drain the water as much as possible, and once drained, immediately heat the pan. Instead of heating, you can also wipe the pan well with a towel or a tissue. But when you wipe it, the minute pores might still have some moisture in it. Presence of moisture might very well lead to rusting. But heating will completely evaporate the water and moisture from every nooks and corners of the pan, both inside and outside. But once washed, the pan has to be immediately heated, else there are fair chances for rusting. Once the pan is completely dry, you can switch off the heat. Once the pan is warm, add little oil. You can use any oil. I am using sesame oil. Take a towel or tissue, fold it and spread the oil on all sides of the pan, both inside and outside. Don't spare any spot. If you do so, the moisture in the air will help that spot to rust faster. After oiling, store it in a dry place where you don't use or spill any water. Next time when you take out this pan to cook, you shall just use it as such, or you can wash with plain water and use. These maintenance steps might look like little extra work, but once you are used to it, you will automatically heat it up and oil it after every wash. This is how I maintain my iron utensils without rusting. If you take a look at this tissue paper, you could witness only oil stains. There are no black spots. But if you wash the pan with soap, heat the pan and wipe it with oil, you could see more black spots in the tissue paper, which is very obvious that soap damages the oil seasoning of the pan. Dry fish didn't stick to the pan, and so I have very easily cleaned it without soap and scrubber. But what if the pan has burnt bottom, just like this? The food is heavily stuck to the pan, but still this can be easily cleaned with flour. To loosen the heavily stuck food particles, first pour some water and let it soak for 5 to 10 minutes. Do not soak it for longer as it might start to rust. 10 minutes over, the food particles are soaked well and could be easily moved with fingers. Now move the pan to the kitchen sink and rub it well with hands. Rub it only with fingers, do not scratch with nails. Most of it are gone, only few particles are stuck and our dry flour will take care of them. Add a spoonful of dry flour and rub the flour against the stuck particles using your fingers. Then sprinkle little water, make it a paste and rub this paste all over the pan and wash well with water. That's it, cleaned well. If you still feel some uneven spots, you can add some more flour, rub again and wash well. Once washed, don't forget to heat the pan immediately. And once water is completely dried, don't forget to apply oil on all sides. If you catch up with this habit, you can maintain all your iron pans rust-free and chemical-free. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.